forgot to come back into the studio. Now, memory is something, ladies and gentlemen, I almost forgot to come back into the studio. Now, memory is something. Guest is Dr. Gary Small, professor of psychiatry and aging, and the director of the UCLA Longevity Center. And we're going to talk to him about memory. And then I said to myself, okay, I'm also going to ask him about such and such. And then I said to Chad a few minutes ago, I said, believe it or not, this isn't a joke. This isn't a bad Malzberg joke. I don't remember what else I wanted to ask him about. I can't remember. It was something I wanted to ask him. I didn't want to throw him a curve, but now I can't remember. Well, now I remember what it is. So anyway, Dr. Small, as I said, professor of psychiatry and aging, and he's also the editor of the Mind Health Report. It's a monthly newsletter, helps you unlock your mind for work, love, and life, and he lectures throughout the world. And, you know, Alzheimer's and dementia is such a common occurrence these days with people who are, you know, it starts, some start young and some get it. You know, the goal is to live as long as you can, and then you live as long as you can. And as you grow older, you lose your memory to the point where it's just horrific. And of course, you know, so many famous people, including Ronald Reagan, have suffered from that. So we're going to talk to Dr. Small about memory and about how to perfect your memory. And he's also the author of the Memory Bible, where you can get a copy of the Memory Bible at 4minutememory.com, 4minutememory.com. Now, I don't know if the doctor forgot about our appointment, but so far, might have to read his own book, ladies and gentlemen. Might have to read his own book. Anyway, so the thing I want to ask him about also is Dick Cheney and how they've, all of a sudden come up with this. Maybe these studies are out there. Maybe they're legit. But I think Dick Cheney's the first person I've ever heard badgered about whether or not having a heart condition has affected his ability to act cognitively. All right, joining us now is Dr. Small. Hey, doctor, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. All right, memory. Everybody forgets things. First of all, some people like me are terrible with names. I'm told by Chad that you never forget a name. Why do people differ? I mean, at a young age, before any onset possibly of, God forbid, dementia or of Alzheimer's, why do people differ when it comes to memory ability?
Well, part of it is inheritance, but a large part of it is what you want to remember. Our brains are actually pretty efficient. And if we put our minds to it, we can improve almost any memory skill, especially remembering names and faces.
Okay, well, how? So it's all a matter of effort?
It's a matter of effort and learning some simple techniques that I teach in our newsletter and in my books. And the basic one is about focusing attention, learning to use mental imagery to remember better, and to link up those mental images. And I call it look, snap, connect. Look, focus attention, snap, create a mental snapshot, and connect, link up those mental snapshots so they have meaning. If something is meaningful, it's going to be memorable.
Right. And I guess as you allude to all the time, memory defines who you are, and without memories, you can't recall the past, you can't plan for the future. So we all use, even though we don't, if you say, hey, did you use your memory today? And you'd say, oh, no, probably not. No, I didn't have to think of anything to remember anything. But we always do it unconsciously. Everything we do from the second we get up to the time we go to bed is using our memory in one shape or another, correct?
That's right. And the challenge I think many of us have is that we're distracted and we don't focus our attention. And that's one of the reasons that as we get older, it often seems that time goes by more quickly because we're not focusing our attention and we're not learning new things. But if we really focus our attention, our memory will improve quite a bit.
That is very interesting when you said about why it seems that time goes by more quickly. And certainly I remember back, and everybody has this story. For me, it all changed for some reason when you stopped sitting in one classroom for the whole day in elementary school. And then when your day became 40-minute periods, it seemed like everything started to fly by. And now as an adult, of course, I can't believe it's October 24th. I can never believe that it's Thursday because the week just started. I guess that's attributed in part, at least, to what you just described.
And you're also very active in a lot of different things going on, and so you're not sitting around in school looking at the clock waiting for recess.
Right.
Which makes time go by very slowly.
All right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, as we get older, the issue is that we're all complaining about names and faces, where we put our keys, the tip of the tongue phenomenon. You're sure you know that word, but it just doesn't roll off your tongue. And what's remarkable is that it's easy to teach people to improve their memory very quickly. And our research has shown that we can improve it right away, and you can have sustained benefits for many years.
All right, give us, we're talking to Dr. Gary Small, Professor of Psychiatry and Aging, Director of the UCLA Longevity Center, and his book, The Memory Bible, available at www, the number 4, just the number itself, 4minutememory.com. So give us a quick example here. What's the first thing I could do to improve my memory?
Well, I think the first thing is what we've been talking about is learn to focus your attention. For example, if you're meeting someone and you want to remember their name, think about that person. Ask them about themselves. Give that individual meaning in your brain, and you're going to remember that person more readily. And
then take it to how to remember where I put my keys all the time. If you don't, naturally, the best thing to do would have like a little jar or a little hanger, and that's where you put your keys. But if you don't, I mean, how do you remember the little things that are unexpected as opposed to knowing that you're going to be seeing, John Doe and you need to remember John Doe's name?
Well, with the little things like keys, it's memory places, as you describe it, but also good memory habits, and that, too, involves focusing attention. Now, I'm sure all of us have had that experience where we walk into a room and we forget, well, why did we go into that room?
I go into the garage and I say, wait a minute, did I come here for the paper towels, the toilet paper, or the water? And sometimes I don't remember.
Well, how about this? Has your wife ever sent you to the market for lettuce? You get there and you get so distracted, you get in the car, you realize you got everything but the lettuce.
Yeah, that happens. Absolutely. So how do you become more focused on when you go into the garage, what you're going to walk out with?
Well, it's, again, being mindful and paying attention is very important, and also developing good memory habits. I recommend that before you leave the house in the morning, go over your calendar. Think through what you have going on that day so you don't forget to bring an important file or letter and think, gee, why didn't I bring that with me?
All right, let me ask you a question now. It's a little political, but it refers to Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who did an interview with Dick Cheney and, in my opinion, badgered him over, your heart condition. And there's been studies that show that if you're a heart patient, especially if you've had a heart attack or you have a stent or whatever, blood flow to the brain is restricted, and you may have been impaired when you made these important decisions. Were you ever told about this? Were you concerned about it? Were you suffering from depression, memory loss, blah, blah? And he said no. But I mean, is that commonplace? I mean, anybody with a heart condition or who has had a heart attack or a bypass or both, should they refrain from important duties? Are they that cognitively affected?
Well, I don't think we can make global statements like that, but we do know that physical health is important for memory health. And there have been studies showing that if you've had open heart surgery or if you have compromised circulation from the heart to the brain, that can compromise your memory. Now, I really think and believe that the brain is quite resilient, and if we take good care of it, we can repair a lot of the problems that we're experiencing. So I think people should not be discouraged if they have a heart problem or diabetes or any kind of medical condition that could affect their brain health, but to try to live a brain-healthy lifestyle to protect their head.
And what about diet and exercise? I mean, those are important to protect and enhance brain function as well?
Critically important. Probably the best thing you can do for your memory each day is to have 20 minutes of brisk exercise and to eat a healthy diet. We have too much omega-6 fat in our diet from red meat and dairy products. We need to emphasize the omega-3s that are anti-inflammatory, brain protective, and they come from fish, nuts, and flaxseed. We also have to get enough antioxidant fruits and vegetables, which protect our brain cells from the wear and tear of aging.
All right, very interesting. Doctor, I look forward to talking to you again. And folks, again, check it out, the Memory Bible. And you can get a copy at 4minutememory.com, but the number 4 itself, 4minutememory.com. You've seen Dr. Small on ABC, NBC, CBS, the Dr. Oz Show, Today Show, all over the place. And now he's been here with us on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax. Thank you, Doctor. Pleasure to speak to you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care. My pleasure. And I'll always remember Dr. Gary Small. I will not forget. But very, very interesting conversation, and everyone could relate to what we just talked about. Whether you can't remember names, or you misplace your keys constantly, or you forget why you went into the garage or the supermarket. I mean, it happens to all of us, and who wouldn't want to perfect that to make it all the more better? So check out the Memory Bible by Dr. Gary Small. All right, folks, we're coming back. We're going to talk to the Attorney General of West Virginia about Obamacare right here on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.